Hey guys, we're going to read the A to Z Mysteries Super Edition 3 Whitehouse Whiteout. Chapter 1. Josh stuck out his tongue into the cold December air. "What are you doing?" Ruth Rose asked him. "Trying to catch snowflakes. I'm hungry." Dink laughed. "You'll freeze your tongue off," he said. Dink's full name was Donald David Duncan, but his friends called him Dink. Josh looked at his two best friends through the falling snow. "Really?" Ruth Rose nodded. She liked to dress all in one color, a different color each day. Today it was red, from her boots to her gloves to her knitted cap. "Bummer," Josh said. The kids were in Washington, D.C. It was the week before Christmas, and they had taken the train from Connecticut with Dink's father. While the kids were sightseeing, he would be doing research in the Library of Congress. Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose had visited the National Zoo first and had just left the Washington Monument. "How much farther to the White House?" Josh asked as they trudged through the snow. It was 6 inches deep, covering the sidewalks, lawns, and most of their boots. Ruth Rose pulled out her guide to Washington, D.C. She opened to a map of the city. "We're right here on 17th Street," she said. They were headed toward their hotel on K Street. "Here's the White House," Dink said. He put a gloved finger on the map. "Only a few more blocks, and there's our hotel. It's only a little way past the White House. When we get back, I'm having steak for supper," Josh announced, "with a mountain of mashed potatoes and a giant piece of chocolate cake for dessert." Dink rolled his eyes. "Look, there's the national Christmas tree," Ruth Rose said. Through the falling snow, they could make out the tall tree. Its thousands of Christmas lights glowed like jewels through the dim, snowy afternoon. "Wow, that must be the tallest Christmas tree in the world. Let's go see it." They turned right and walked about 200 yards to the base of the tree. A few tourists were there taking pictures. A couple of little kids were trying to build a snowman. "Guys, look," Dink said. Josh and Ruth Rose turned around and followed Dink's gaze. Only a few hundred yards away stood the White House. Even through falling snow, the building was easy to see. The front was surrounded by a curve of black fence. Lights shone through dozens of windows. "Gosh, it's so white," Josh said. "It's the oldest public building in D.C., Ruth Rose said. "I heard Lincoln's ghost walks around inside." "Ooh, Josh believes in ghosts." "I wish we had time for a tour. It's 4:30, and I told Dad we'd be at the hotel by 5. "The next tour is tomorrow at noon," Ruth Rose informed the boys. The kids hiked through the snow toward the White House. They stopped at the tall black fence and stared through the iron bars. Ruth Rose opened her guidebook again. She read a paragraph. "President Zachary Thornton and First Lady Lois Corcoran Thornton are the White House's current residents. They share the White House with the First Lady's daughter, Catherine, and their many pets." "Wow, it must be awesome to live in the White House," Josh said. He put his face up against the fence. "Think of all the rooms you could play hide and seek in." "How many rooms are there?" Dink asked Ruth Rose. 132, but most of them aren't open to the public. Just then, a dog came bounding through the snow inside the fence. The dog was tall and gray with long, skinny legs. It was wearing a red sweater with cutouts for the legs and tail. A boy and girl about the same age as Dink raced after it, both covered with snow. They saw Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose looking through the fence. Their dog trotted over and stuck its snout between the rails. Dink noticed some words stitched in white on the dog's red sweater. The word said, "First Dog." "Is your dog friendly?" Dink asked the two kids. "Sure. Natasha is a greyhound and she loves everyone." Dink noticed red hair sticking out from under the girl's hat. Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose took off their gloves. They put their hands through the fence bars and patted the dog's head. "My name is Casey," the girl said. "This is my friend Marshall. We're trying to teach Natasha a Christmas trick, but she doesn't like the snow, so she's trying to escape." "I'm Dink Duncan, and these are my friends Josh and Ruth Rose. We're here with my dad. We live in Connecticut." The 5 kids all shook hands through the fence. All the hands made it confusing, and they burst out laughing. "Are you the president's daughter?" Josh asked Casey. "Nope, I'm his stepdaughter," Casey said. "He and my mom got married last year." "Sweet. So what's it like living in the White House? Do you get to do any cool stuff?" She gets to do anything she wants, Marshall piped up. Casey poked Marshall. She looked through the fence at Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose. Would you like to come in? In there? In the White House? Sure, my folks aren't home, but I know they wouldn't mind. I just have to get you clearance. Wicked, Josh yelled. Just hide your food, Ruth Rose told Casey. Josh will eat anything. Dink glanced at his watch. We can't stay long. My dad's expecting us back at our hotel in a half hour. Which hotel? Casey asked. It's the Royal Grove on 16th Street. That's not far, right? Nope, just a couple of blocks. You'll make it in plenty of time. So how do we get clearance? Go around to the next gate. We'll meet you there with one of the Marine guards. He'll give you a special pass. That'll be great. Wait till I tell my dad. Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose raced each other to the next gate. They stood there peering inside as snowflakes covered their eyelashes. Finally, they saw Casey, Marshall, and Natasha coming toward them through the snow. With them was a tall Marine. He wore shiny black boots and a dark green uniform under a long coat. His hat and shoulders were white with snowflakes. The guard looked at the kids closely before he unlocked the gate. He handed them each a pass. Please clip these onto your clothing, he said. He asked their names and wrote them on the clipboard. He also took down Dink's father's name and the name of the hotel. Then he said, Welcome to the White House, and walked away toward a small guard hut. Okay, follow me, Casey said. She led everyone to a rear door. At least 10 small trucks and vans were parked near the entrance. Each one had about 6 inches of snow on top, as if they had been parked there for hours. Men and women were wearing clearance badges, pulled boxes from the vans, and lugged them into the White House. 3 men were sliding a Christmas tree out of one of the trucks. The White House is getting decorated today, Casey explained. When they're all done, the public gets to come in for tours. They have 10 Christmas trees, Marshall said, and about a zillion wreaths. Wait till you see. A woman carrying a green wreath stopped to pat Natasha on the head. Natasha licked her hand before Casey led the kids into a hallway where they hung their coats and hats. Dozens of people rushed around carrying wreaths, strings of light, garland of greenery, and armloads of ornaments. Dink loved the smell of pine, and it was everywhere. Casey led them along the hallway. They stepped over boxes and around the workers. Dink peeked into a room and saw a Christmas tree covered with white paper cranes. In every window, someone had hung a wreath. Red ribbon dangled from chandeliers. Golden plastic fruit that looked real lay in piles waiting to be arranged on tabletops. No matter where you looked, someone was decorating something. This is amazing, Dink said. I can't wait till they're all finished, Casey whispered. My mom and stepfather are getting our own little tree for upstairs. We're going to decorate it tonight after everyone else is gone. Tell them about your present for your stepdad, Marshall told Casey. Casey peeked into a small room that looked like an office. Come on in here, she said to the rest of the kids. A few months ago, we adopted Natasha as a surprise for the president. He's been trying to teach her tricks, but she won't listen to him. He's so funny. He says, Natasha, you have to listen. I'm the president. Everyone laughed. So Marsh and I are trying to teach Natasha to sing when I blow a whistle. That will be my present to my stepfather. It's silent to human ears, she said, but dogs can hear it. Can you show us? Where is Natasha anyway? Begging for food somewhere, probably, Marshall said. Just like Josh. Casey blew the whistle. When Natasha didn't show up, the kids went looking for her. They peeked into every room, asking the decorators if they had noticed the dog anywhere. No one had. Maybe she went outside again, Dink suggested. She hates the snow, Casey said. She only goes out when I take her. Why don't we split up and search? Good idea, Casey said. Marsh, you take Dink and Josh and look down here. I'll check the upstairs with Ruth Rose. Meet back here in 10 minutes in front of this clock, okay? Dink looked at his watch. They had to be back at the hotel in about 20 minutes. He glanced out one of the windows. It was beginning to get dark. The 5 kids split off to begin their search. They called the dog's name and asked everyone they saw, and Casey blew on the whistle. 10 minutes later, they met under the clock. No one had seen Natasha. She's nowhere, Casey said. I even went upstairs to our private rooms. I looked under all the beds, her usual spot to hide from us. How could a 60-pound dog disappear?